Adam is muted yet again. This is the second time this has happened, but it's strokes gained dog. Adam is in the Coachella Valley, so it's everything. There's excuses for everything. We're talking Masters. Adam, kick us off.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for jumping in. This is we'll call this a strokes gained dog podcast. Persevering. It's Monday morning. We're alive. We're boots. We're moving forward. I almost said we're bootsing. We're not bootsing. That's what
Definitely not bootsing.
My mind is always in the boots mentality. I've had boots at Coachella this week. That's where the boots were taking place. Jersey. It turned out we talked about this maybe 2 or 3 pods ago that I was going to be at Coachella during Masters weekend. We didn't know how that was going to impact my ability to watch the Masters. It couldn't possibly have worked out better. Outside TV next to the pool, was able to watch the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday rounds to completion, then went to Coachella. So if there was any listeners out there who are worried, great Masters experience for me. And I'm now leaning going forward to I kind of want to go to Coachella every Masters weekend because it worked out perfectly.
I mean, it seems like you can't script a better way to go around that, because I was definitely worried for you. You got people pulling you in different directions. We got to go to this stage. We got to go to this stage. But if you made it all happen, you're still able to have fun during the night. Like, that is a beautiful weekend from my point of view.
And Jers, it was, you go to Coachella, you're with your friends. Maybe you take, let's call them some party favors to make it, the best experience you can be. I thought those party favors may have been affecting me when I was watching the golf, Jers, because Rory McIlroy won the Masters in the most unbelievable way I think we could have ever possibly imagined. It didn't feel real, and I started to wonder, is this real? But you can confirm that this legitimately happened.
Yeah, I can confirm from the couch that it did happen. At least what ESPN, CBS, Masters.com brought to us. There's a chance that Augusta's a very tight-knit thing. They could have scripted this to go a certain way and just have the Rory win happen, but at least from what we think, Rory's a Masters champion. And I'd say it's crazy to think on a Monday morning, what is this, April 14th, Rory McIlroy is a career Grand Slam winner, a Masters champion. I know we've both had different views on this. Like, just how are you taking it?
I think it'll be good to go through the round, not hole by hole, but I think it was a perfect, like everything that's ever happened in Rory's career happened over the 19 holes that he ended up playing yesterday. And I think we'll talk about that. But I went into Sunday, and I said this on the pod last week, that like I had accepted a Rory victory at the Masters. Like, I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought there was too many demons, and I think we saw a lot of those demons play out yesterday. But with that said, I think I said I would be happy if he won. It was something that I was not rooting for necessarily, but would have been cool if it happened, especially if I didn't necessarily have a guy right there in the mix. And I went into Sunday rooting for Rory, but also kind of open to, if he doesn't win, the takes can live on, the content can live on. So I was kind of fine either way. But after the third or fourth time he almost blew it and basically had it in his hands and lost it, I couldn't watch him lose. Like, it would have been if I was talking to my girlfriend about it, because she was watching too, and like, it doesn't even matter what profession it is, what we're talking about. Like, it would have been too painful to see a human go through it. And so for about the last 5 holes, basically after 13 on, I was like, he's got to do it, because this is just going to be too painful if he doesn't.
I mean, I was watching with Graphic Man Kohler, and he bets maybe 3 times a year. He bet Rory this week, and on the first hole, he hit into the bunker, and I had to walk outside for a second. I get back in. I see he's putting for bogey. I'm like, Kohler just gives me a nod, doesn't even want to say anything. And I'm like, is this real? Like, is he doing this again? So from hole 1, it was a mess. Goes into the bunker again on 2. I'm like, I don't want to say anything and mess with his vibe, but I'm just trying not to. I'm trying to take it in while all being like, all right, this is okay. He's got a lead. And then the swing started to happen. And it was just a whole microcosm of things happening so fast among the golf course, from Bryson to Rory to Rose to Ludwig. And then we get to the back 9, and then everything you said from there went down. So it was just, a crazy.
Dude,
what?
There's an earthquake. I swear to God. I swear to fucking God, there was just an earthquake. The ground was
Are you
shaking.
sure? Is it the party favors or?
Told you before the pod that the party favors may be like hanging over into the pod. This I like as it was happening, I was thinking this can't be true. It is true. I just got a notification on my phone to confirm it, and people outside said it happened. So not only is this it was going to be a dog pod before, I just survived an earthquake. We're already off to a sensational pod here. Rory McIlroy wins the Masters. There's earthquakes during the pod. What more can you say? But anyways, okay. Well, the pod goes on. I think everybody's fine. I think somebody will let me know.
Yeah, you did like your mic muffled for a second, like it like went like, but now you're good.
Yeah,
so I can confirm.
The whole room started shaking for about 5 seconds, and I thought, like, is somebody doing the laundry machine? What's going on? But people are confirming via text message that was an earthquake. But the real earthquake was yesterday at Augusta National, and like I said, we were on the precipice. It kind of was a best case scenario because every take ever made could be like confirmed true or false based on what took place yesterday. And going into the playoff, we were on the edge of like the most all-time takes against Rory, and obviously he wins, so we end up on the other side. But it was, I tweeted this out. I said, you can't. There's a lot of times we use the quote like, you can't script this. Nobody would believe it.
Right.
I legitimately don't think you could script that because it was too unbelievable.
So when it was around hole like 11, 12, well, first of all, we have to talk about, can we talk about 11 real quick?
11. Yeah. Well, okay. So this is what I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to go through the round because I think all of the takes that have ever existed about Rory occurred over the day. Because going back to, it started on Thursday. He chips it into the water, then forgets that you're not, like, I was wondering why he didn't just
I was confused too.
Spot. I thought I didn't know the rules. I had to like look it up, and then I didn't see many people talking about it. I was going to tweet something, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah. And then later in the week, he said he forgot. So he does that on Thursday. Falls back to even par. People are like, oh, that was the moment. It's gone. Classic Rory at Augusta Thursday. Like, he's already out of it. Everybody's tweeting out, like, if you don't finish in the top 10 and have your shoes tied, behind the laces, and if you don't shake hands with like 3 people left of the 4th green, you can't win after the first round. Second round plays amazing. Third round, absolute heater out of the gates. Like, that's peak Rory. I think he made 3s on like the first 6 holes or something like that. So we get to Sunday. Bryson makes that long putt on 18 to put a little bit of pressure going to Sunday. Double bogey right out of the gates. He said on his press conference he was incredibly nervous, like had no feeling whatsoever. And then he says it, and I think this has been true of Rory for so long. He said in his press conference, he's like, I made that double bogey, and then I felt calm. Like, he didn't want the lead. He wanted it, obviously, but like, he didn't want the lead. Out of the gates, and he didn't feel comfortable until he lost it.
Yeah, and shout out Gabby Herzig. She asked him how his nerves were feeling going into that round. And for a player of Rory McIlroy's stature, won basically everything in the world, one of the greatest golfers to ever walk the earth, he talked about how he never felt the way he felt before going to the first tee. And I didn't have any Rory skin in the game. I wasn't sweating anything besides Rory. And I was so nervous over the last few holes. I just can't imagine what it feels like to be in that spot. And obviously we'll never know what it feels like to be, but it's just crazy what pressure does to your body. It's like, yeah, I couldn't feel my legs, and I'm sitting on the couch feeling the same way. Like, it's nuts. But yeah, I want to go through some of the decisions on the back 9.
Yeah. So then on the front 9, he steadies the ship, hit some amazing shots out of the trees. Apparently he overrode Harry on 7 and said, like, I'm going to YOLO it and hit it through the trees. Missed the putt, but an unbelievable shot. He gets to the 10th tee. And the funny thing was, too, I was with, I don't know how many people were staying at this Airbnb, like 8 people, my girlfriend and some of our friends. None of them golf fans, none of them ball knowers. And like, I was watching, every day. They were by the pool, we were hanging out, and I was trying to like explain to them the Rory McIlroy situation, like why this was such an important thing, and like who this guy is, and like all this stuff. And they kept asking me, they're like, is he going to win? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, as he got to the back 9, I think somebody asked me, I was like, I can't promise that he wins, but like, it is right there for the taking. Like, he literally has it in his hands. Makes that birdie on 10, which was sick. I think he went to like minus 2,500 odds. He's clear. Just literally keep it on the tracks. Bryson doesn't have it going. Some guys are making some charges, but they're still a ways away. And then, yeah, he gets to 11, pushes it right. And it was peak Rory. Was he trying to make it? Was he trying to hit a hook and make it? He was like, if I can make eagle here, like, we're off and running. And he should have hit it in the water. Like, when he ends up making double bogey on 13, which was probably the worst golf shot ever hit, that was the double bogey he should have made on 11. Like, his score ended up probably where it should have been either way. But yeah, was he trying to, like, was he trying to make it?
I think he was trying to make it, because that might have been the dumbest shot I've seen in the history of golf, because what hole 11 is, even if he hits a perfect shot, and he damn near hit a perfect shot from where he was, like where the ball ended up, that was maybe the best he could have done. That's still a 5 is good from there. Like, he's not guaranteeing getting up and down. Like, a 5 is good. So, like, Ludwig in that position was in the same exact spot, and he was a person who probably needed to make it. It was chasing. I got to get this close to the pin. He chips out sideways, hits it to 20 feet, and has the par putt. Make or miss, that's the decision. And Rory, with the lead, is like, let's hit this low hook.
He's like, low hook. As soon as he hit it, you could see it too on the broadcast. Like,
that's
a sick hole to watch on the broadcast, because you just saw the thing whipping right to left. And then Dottie said too, like, before he even hit it, she's like, he's got to watch out for these mounds, because the mounds in front of 11 can kick the ball so hard to the water. Somehow it stays out. Bryson hits it in the water. Like, we'll talk about Bryson, but the thing I think that helped Rory a lot was that Bryson couldn't keep the ball on the planet with his irons. Like, Bryson was literally trying to win the Masters playing 60-yard hooks with his irons, and he did a nice job for all of that being considered. Great par on 12, smart shot, back middle of the green, gets to 13. So we start by taking 3-wood off of the tee. We're declaring from the tee that we're playing for par.
Most mature thing I've ever seen Rory do. Like, speaking of what he just did 2 holes before.
Yeah,
I was like, okay, great, good decision.
Wake up call. Like, he gets to 13, he's like, okay, I can't be doing dumb shit anymore. Like, I literally have the Masters in my hands. Let's just make par here. And you can make par on 13 by just hitting it in the fairway like he did with 3-wood. He lays up. I was barely paying attention. I was doing something on my computer when he was hitting the pitch.
Same. I had to go run an errand, and I was like watching on my phone barely because it was over.
There's like a slope 30 feet left of the pin. The entire green, anywhere on the earth that isn't the creek, and like the Masters is over. And when that ball went into the creek, it really was. And I think the fun part about this Rory win is we can give so many takes, and he also won, which cancels out all of the takes, because it's like one of the greatest things in golf history that he completed the career Grand Slam. But this shot on 13, I really think it was the worst shot ever hit. I genuinely do. Like, when you factor in a 50-yard wedge shot to a pin with a slope left of the green, it should actually be impossible to hit in the water.
Truly. And like you said, it was everything that Rory was over the last 10 years. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then it's like, what are you doing? Talk to your caddy for 1 second. Oh shit, like, that's a shot only Rory McIlroy can hit. And it all circled back. It was like bang, 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 bang. It was a triangle of those 3 things. Back to back to back. It was truly the most electric thing of all time.
Yeah. 4 double bogeys. He gets to 14, makes bogey there. After the bogey on 14, I was really starting to say, like, I thought he had lost it. I was like, this is concerning stuff. I was texting people saying we need a timeout, because at this point, after the double on 13 and then the bogey on 14, and just the look that he had, that's when I was fully behind him figuring out a way to win it, because I was like, I legitimately can't watch this. It is too painful. He hits it a little left on 15 off the tee. I'm thinking, what's he going to do here? But this is then on the flip side of everything of Rory's career. The man is capable of hitting shots that basically no one else can hit. He's got 7-iron in, slinging draw around the tree, 5 feet. As good as, which shot do you think was? I think his shot on 15 on Sunday was better. But which do you think was better, the Saturday shot into 15 or the Sunday shot into 15?
I think the Sunday shot for sure, but I think that him being under the trees, the fact that he had to manufacture a shot made it like that much easier for him. He's like, okay, I have to do this. Where if he was in the middle of the fairway, I could have seen it. I mean, obviously, I'm not gonna say every shot's gonna go to 5 feet, but I think he could have messed up more than there because he's like, all right, this is Rory McIlroy hero time highlight reel. This is perfect. This is perfect for me. So I think that where that ball ended up was a perfect spot. And I honestly wasn't sure if he was going to go for it because of where he was, but he had, I think, like 205 to cover, like 205 to the flag or something like that. So it was obviously reachable, but not very many spots to miss from where he was. I thought he was going to lay it up and then try to make a birdie with the wedge, but obviously what happened.
And I think that's a good point with like the creating shots, because some of the best shots that he hit on Sunday were the shots through the trees, around the trees, over the trees. Like basically any shot where it took his mind off of I'm trying to win the Masters and I really hope I don't blow it again to watch this was when things went good for him. And
right.
so then he misses the putt. Terrible stroke, not even close. Taps in for birdie, got the lead. We'll talk about Rose in a second, but obviously Rose birdie's 18. So we know we've got to make a birdie if he's going to win in regulation and avoid bogeys. Like I think going to 16 when he was effectively tied for the lead, like really could go either way because 17 and 18 are tough holes. 16 not playing quite as tough. Good par on 16, gets to 17, hits 3-wood off the tee again. He also hit 3-wood off the tee, I believe, on 14. And that's when I'm starting to go, what are we doing here? Like, why are we laying it back off the tee? But then another beautiful iron shot. I know you tweeted about his approach stats on the week. I think one thing that was true was we talked about distance at Augusta. We talked about it on the pod last week, wrote about it on the side a lot. Rory leads the field in distance. I talked about one of the reasons why I thought he was more likely to win this year than in a long time was just all of the trends off the tee were pointing more to distance. And I think a lot of the approach numbers ultimately come from the fact that he was hitting a lot shorter clubs 100%. And hitting it a lot higher than most people in the field. 1000%. But for example, on 17, that was a 200-yard iron shot that he hits to tap in range. I think ultimately of all the great shots he hit, that one might be the greatest just because of the importance of getting it on the green in that moment. Because if you even miss 17 green, that's probably a bogey. And instead, tap in birdie. What do you think about 17?
Yeah, and his reaction to 17, he was yelling at it to go. He was like, go, go, go. And it's a good thing Rory hits a draw because it had that forward spin rather than because it just barely covered that little false front. If he hit a fade, who knows if it stayed up there? Maybe it definitely doesn't get as close. But the fact that it had that forward spin, it landed just on, or maybe just a tad in front of that false front, rolled toward the flag. And I think that was just like the kicker because he didn't hit it perfectly, just happened to have the right trajectory and release on it. But it was just like the margins are so small and the shot shape just made all the difference right there. Because if he doesn't hit it, if it doesn't release, he has a nasty pitch up the hill. Who knows what he makes there? And then obviously 18 happens. So everything happens for a reason.
It sucks for a variety of reasons that we didn't get boots last week. At scale, we got a 2-hour boots. But I would have loved to have you see the 17th green because the 17th green is insane.
Yeah.
Like the number of short misses and just guys not ejecting, but just looking silly on the 17th green is insane. Okay. So we get to 18. I'm getting ready. Like my girlfriend's like, we got to go, Coachella's starting. They're on stage. I'm getting my shoes on. I'm like, okay, 18. He's literally, I'm going to watch him drive. And if he drives it in the fairway, we're pretty much good. Nuke. Absolute nuke down the middle.
Yeah.
On 18, I'm like, we're good. I start getting all my stuff together. I wander back out by the pool. At this point, my girlfriend is watching with me. I say, all he's got to do, she watches Bryson hit. She's like, oh, that was a good shot by like Bryson. And I'm like, yeah, it's not like that hard of a shot. Like he literally just needs to land it anywhere. Cause she was like, oh, the ball like rolled down more by the hole. I was like, yeah, you literally can land it anywhere on the green and you're fine. And it's in the air. And I'm literally yelling, no, please, no. Into the bunker it goes. She's panicked. She hates playoffs. She said, like, it's actually so true. The number of times where we have somewhere like we need to go on a Sunday after the golf ends and it goes to a playoff. She's always like, is it going to go to a playoff? I'm like, probably not. always goes to a playoff. So that might have been working against Rory a little bit as well. He hits out of the bunker. He's got like 5 feet. I'm like, if he makes it, he wins. But I was like, he's missed these before. I felt like the U.S. Open. I took my hat off. I threw it on the ground when he missed. She's never like whether I've got a guy in the mix, she's usually just watching. She like doesn't care. She literally like screams out like, "What are you doing?" Like to Rory. Like every person I ever know is texting me. What did you think when the putt missed? Because it was so unbelievable. Like it wasn't unbelievable because you can understand. I could see it coming, but I was like, this can't be real.
It was one of the most like timidly scared strokes I've ever seen. And I tweeted right before he putt, I said, I want Bryson to blast this 20 yards through the break to give Rory like no realm over the read. And like he kind of did that. He just blasted it straight right. So Rory was like, he knew what the putt was going to do. Did you see Mike Kim's tweet before
I saw
18?
something. I can't remember what he said.
Mike Kim tweeted like right before Rory was about to tweet. It's just a half inch outside the right, super easy. Mike Kim, shut the fuck up.
That's Mike Kim's second major because he won St. Andrews too. Because the up and down that Cam Smith got on 17 was so easy. So those are 2 impressive victories for Mike Kim to win at St. Andrews and Augusta. That's pretty good.
Not easy putts, easy up and downs. Yeah. So clearly, and he did not hit it like kind of like the stroke on 15. Barely tapped it. Was not confident at all what it was going to do. Didn't even have a chance. It was low all the way, and then what's your reaction there? Like, did you think he was going to get it done in the playoff?
I thought honestly, I didn't feel any more or less likely. I don't think than as the whole thing was happening. I was like, he's still got a great chance. I didn't expect him to like walk up to the 18th tee and like slice it into the woods. I figured he would still be competitive. My worry was I didn't think there was a length of putt that I could trust him to make. Like I texted somebody, I was like, I don't know how close he needs to hit it where we could actually think he's going to make the putt, because on so many times this week on like the short ones down the hill, he gave the Pinehurst stroke to it where it's just like, let me tap it and hope that it goes in. And Rose, let's get to the playoff in a second and touch on Rose in this moment, because is there how much, and we need to talk about the dog rankings, and we will, because somebody messaged me. They're like, I need to know the updated dog rankings. And this is obviously a massive dog analysis event, but Rose, as much dog as anyone, like I think he needs to be a top 20 dog player. He only plays good when he
feels like it. Yeah.
He literally only plays good when he feels like it. So we get to the playoff. It's Rose, it's Rory. What did you think? If you were a betting man in that moment, I think Rory was like minus 140. Obviously, he wins, so that was fair. But what did you think was the right odds in that moment?
I thought they probably were closer to like a pick 'em, or definitely closer than that. But going into it, I thought, when Rose hit a great shot, I knew Rory would stuff it. Rory needed to see a shot right at the flag. Rory needed to see this guy just did it. I'm gonna stuff it. He just had the shot. I mean, Bryson hit it a good shot to the pin, but Rose was way further back, landed right next to the pin. Rory needed to see that. As soon as that happened, I'm like, this is going to go to tap in, because it was not a hard shot. If you hit it near the flag, it's going to funnel back, like we've been saying. So that was I before the playoff too. I was like, Rory's going to make birdie. Rose needs to make one. So
and I think close. And as we said, like, Rory didn't just win because he hits the ball far. But I think hitting the ball far at Augusta now gives you the ability to make four double bogeys on the week and still win. And I think we saw it on 18, because that was the difference with Rose versus Rory's approaches. Rose probably hit, if you were analyzing whose approach shot was better, honestly, Rose's, because he was way further back, hit it right over the pin to about 15 feet. I think he maybe got a little unlucky that the ball actually stayed where it did. I think there's a world where that ball rolls back down even close to where Rory's was. But the reason it didn't is because he's coming in from further back and the trajectory is different. Rory hitting a wedge from where he did so high, he's obviously going to get that spin back down the slope. And I think that was, an interesting way to end the tournament, because Rose overcame the lack of distance. And if Rose wins, I guess he's against this narrative. But you look at the miniature leaderboard with 3-4 holes to go, Rory, Ludwig, Scottie, Bryson, P. Reed, which, by the way, shout out P, shout out Kessler. We'll talk about that in a second, but that was sick that he did what he basically told us he was going to do on the podcast. But I think that was an interesting way that it ended, with Rory taking advantage of his distance on 18 and being able to hit that wedge in close. Rose took too long on his putt. I'm not saying from like a rule standpoint. In that moment, you could take 5 hours, like literally do whatever you want. You're playing one putt to potentially win the Masters. I think he overthought it. Ultimately,
I thought the same thing when he went to the other side and started taking practice strokes. I was like, all right, bro, come on. Definitely. He was putting so well all week. He didn't need to do all that.
That putt on 18, that was kind of my point. I doubt on 18 in regulation he read it quite that intensely. Maybe he did. I don't think they covered it quite as closely. But at that point, I was in the line for the shuttle at Coachella, and I was like watching on my phone, and my girlfriend was looking over my shoulder, and we kept moving forward in the line, and she's like, "Has he putted yet?" I'm like, "No, I don't know what he's doing. Like, he's taking his time to figure out the line." Moves right, and then at that point, I did actually think Rory. I mean, it's only 3 feet. Like, it's not a hot take to go. I think he was going to make it. I thought he was going to make it.
Yeah.
I was like, he can't miss again. It's literally dead straight. Please, 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 to all the gods that exist, like, make this. He does. And then the reaction it was already going to be an unbelievable, amazing day, amazing moment, no matter what. But the reaction, the whole thing took it to the next level. What did you think about the celebration in the end?
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. I knew he was going to be happy, obviously, but him just like releasing all of that emotion right when the putt dropped. After everything that happened to him, after like the last few holes being a microcosm of the last 10 years, truthfully, I thought it was well warranted, well deserved. And like I was, as someone who, like, my take on Rory at Augusta, I've bet him the last 3 years, 20, 20,
yeah, I was
21, 22, 20.
Because I think on the pod on last week, I said I wouldn't be upset if he wins. Like, I'd kind of be happy if he won. I definitely wasn't considering betting him. And then you said you would be upset because you've bet him the last few Masters.
Yeah, I bet him the last 3 years. I've always been so high on his game, like, not a hot take. And I'm not mad that I didn't bet him this week, because like he was this year was the most it made sense in the last 3 years. Obviously 2 wins. It made so much sense. I'm not upset. 6.5 to 1 is a number that I don't bet. So like, yeah, I missed. It's not like I missed that 15, 20 to 1 Rory, which he's been over the last 3-4 years at Augusta. So I'm not upset that I didn't pull the trigger. Happy with how it happened, and I was obviously rooting for him to get it done to complete the Grand Slam. But yeah, so I can't say I was upset.
And I'll say, I think it was last year's U.S. Open when I declared that my take that Rory would never win another major was rescinded. I rescinded the take on that day. I said he hits it too far. He drives it too well. He's going to win a U.S. I kept saying U.S. Open just because I thought hit it far, and figure everything else from there is such a huge advantage at the U.S. Open. But ultimately, I guess where I should have connected more of the dots was that is what Augusta is now. And I tweeted this out that the other reason being, I just thought the Demons, ultimately were too strong at Augusta, which I think that take is fair. I think we saw the Demons as strong as maybe the Demons have ever tried to stop somebody from doing something there at Augusta. Obviously, overcomes it. But there's plenty of holes at Augusta where the distance isn't as much of a deal. But at the same time, the changes they've made to 13 and 15 specifically, those par 5s on the back 9, have done a great job of keeping the average score for the field a little bit lower, because those were turning into great eagle opportunities for pretty much every player in the field before they made the changes. But now, like when Rory and Bryson would step up to the tee on 13 and 15, you knew they had a really great chance of going forward in 2. And even if they missed the green, then they're chipping for birdie, versus even the layups on especially 15. Those are tough wedge shots even after you lay up. It's such an advantage knowing that you can get to those greens easily and bring it down with height, that I think that like the changes at Augusta over the last few years are one of the reasons why Rory won. Like the course began to play more into his strengths than it did before. And it was interesting to see that play out. And I think it really, like, after writing up all the off the tee stuff, reading all the distance stats we talked about on the pod, we kind of had a little debate about it. it really just jumped out to me on those 2 holes specifically this week.
100%. And that's a great way to put it, because I started my card JT Corey Connors. I mean, JT is a different conversation, but Corey Connors was playing about as good as he could have played. I mean, the putts are the putts. It's Corey Connors. I'm not going to be mad at Corey Connors missing putts. That's what he does best. But on Saturday, he was in certain spots to maybe go for it in 2, maybe lay up, and he took the risk out of it and laid up, which I was fine with. Like, that's Corey Connors' game. And just the fact that he hit some okay layups and he missed the green on a 93-yard shot. But that's just the difference. Like, Rory's getting there in 2, having 2 putts or having a chip, where Corey Connors has 100 or 130 yards to get it close. And he did a really, really good job at it for 60 holes. And then he kind of fell short, but that's the distance that he'll never have. And for someone to play as good as he did over those holes and clearly not be even really close to getting it done just shows that, yeah, the driving bias is proving to be true.
Yeah, and I think, again, that's why you can make 4 double bogeys. And if a guy like Corey Connors made 4 double bogeys, he's probably missing the cut. He's not playing the weekend. And I think we saw a lot of guys, the Justin Roses, the Patrick Reeds of the world. There is definitely a world where you can play Augusta strategically, use your experience, and get to a high finish. But a guy like Rory can just rip it off of the tee, guarantee himself 4 legitimate up and down birdie opportunities, if not eagle opportunities on the par 5s. And I just don't think those opportunities are there for the full field in the way that they have been historically. We don't need to talk to him about him because he ejected so hard. But it was the same with Lowry. Like, Lowry was hard mixing on Saturday, and I was watching him the same thing. And it was like he would get to 13 and he would get to 15. And you're thinking, okay, great. Let's, try to make a birdie, maybe even give ourselves an eagle opportunity. And he's laying up because he's 260 out and he's afraid to go for the green. And then you see it. I think that Connor shot's a good point. Like, that pitch into 15 is tough because there's so much slope on that green that it's actually, I'm not saying it's easier for Rory to hit a 7-iron or a 6-iron to tap in range, but all those shots land on the front of the green. And then because they've got the draw spin, the kick forward, they continue up towards the pin. There's actually a pretty big landing area versus with those wedges. If you land it short, it's going to spin back and you're going to end up with like a 30-footer below the hole. If you land it pin high, it's going to bounce off the back of the green and you're kind of boned. So yeah, I think like 15, obviously Rory makes an eagle and a birdie there. He also chipped in the water and made double bogey, but that to me was a hole that just spoke to why he won.
Yeah, and on 13 yesterday, Connors tried to force the issue and go for it and ended up hitting in the water. He got up and down for par, but still, like, he stuck to his game plan. He knew what he was comfortable with. And then when it came down to, okay, I'm 4 or 5 back, I need to try to press, which is what you should do when you're in that situation on Sunday. Clearly not his game. But, I mean, shout out Corey Connors. I'm happy I pulled the trigger on him. He was great. He played great.
It's hard to even know now what to talk about in the world of golf. I was also trying to explain to my girlfriend, like, how massive of just, like, a narrative this is in golf. It's not just something that gets talked about the week before Augusta. Obviously, it does. But Rory winning the Masters is just, like, takes around the clock. So what now is, like, what do we I know Rory, that was his, like, thing. That's the funny thing about Rory too, is he's obviously done a bunch of sick things in his career, won a bunch of big events. He's also clearly a guy who, like, gets very nervous, and I'm sure everybody's nervous when they win the Masters, but, like, for how good Rory is, he clearly, like, feels the heat in a serious way. But then afterwards, he's always got, like, a quip where he's talking shit, like, afterwards. I'm like, why don't you, like, carry that energy with you as you're playing? Like, the first thing he says in the press conference is, like, what are we going to talk about next year? If he played with more of that, like, I think, energy throughout the round, it might actually help him. But so he says that. What are we going to talk about? What now? What is when does Cam Davis win the Masters? Like, what is the next, like, storyline that we
Well, that was always above Rory's storyline, but that was just like an overarching thing that everyone knew they'd have to bring it up. That's a grocery store thing. I think the real things coming up are, obviously, Rory's going to win Quail. We know that already. And then he plays a home game for the Open. It's like, how does he fare at the U.S. Open, which is a U.S. Open? That's where he's fucked in the most.
Yeah.
It is the win all 4. That's going to be the narrative going into Quail. And then after that, it's, okay, it's Bryson's time at Augusta now. because Bryson's the love of everyone. Everyone loves Bryson now, which is warms my heart. I've been a Bryson fan forever. So it's those two things. Augusta is Bryson. The year is Grand Slam.
So it's no longer will Rory win another major. It's will he ever lose another major.
The recency bias is a hell of a drug. Yes.
Okay. Let's do a quick like and subscribe, and then let's look at the dog rankings and use that to talk about a little bit more Masters. And then we'll probably do, I don't even know how much we'll do, 15, 20 minutes on RBC Heritage. I've got kind of a hard stop around 11:15, which doesn't mean anything to anybody who's listening because they don't know what time it is. But that means another, let's say 40 minutes of pod action.
I mean, do you want to touch on, when we go through the dog rankings, touch on them in an RBC Heritage point of view, or do it separately? Because we schedule as we pod. This is
Well, let's just see how we're feeling. Let's just see how it goes. Let's just see how we're feeling. But we do have to do like and subscribe. We appreciate everybody who listened to the Masters pod, engaged with the Masters content, got on the site, got in the Discord. Super fun week all around, even if not a profitable week from a betting perspective. Profitable for the heart, ultimately, with Rory winning. I think that was, if I wasn't going to win a bet, up there with just the make it is enjoyable. And ultimately, we bet golf to get sweats. It was a sweat for everybody in the world. And so at the end of the day,
sure was.
That's all that we can ask for from Augusta. If you're listening on YouTube, a podcast, we'd appreciate that like and subscribe, that 5-star review if we earn it. And then the season goes on. Jers, we've got 2 PGA Tour events this week. We've got Corrales. We've got the RBC Heritage Signature event. We've got the DP headed over to the Volvo China Open. I do believe. Shout out Hao Tung. I think he'll probably be like 2-1 over there. Shirts, Jers, give me the spiel on the shirts. Tell people about that. I know you've been working hard. This is kind of your baby. That's up on the site now. Give us that and anything else that the people need to be aware of going on in the Vincerix world.
Yeah, so first of all, in the Vincerix world, unlike some other programs and bettors of the world, we're not going to win every week. I know some people win every single week. We're not going to. It's just not, and we're not going to Vic lap things that we don't have to Vic lap. So it was a great fun week. We weren't on Rory. We're sorry. But I will say thank you for the subscribers. And also, I know some people were confused in the Discord in our program that we did or didn't have boots at Augusta. We were honestly unsure of when to trigger the announcement tweet, when to trigger the, all right, we got Augusta boots. And shout out Adam for holding it off, because we're never going to announce something that isn't going to be true. So we planning on getting Augusta boots. The weather did not corroborate. So I know there was some confusion, but we just didn't want to announce anything that wasn't there. And then finally, on the shirts, some great designs from our podcast graphics man, Kohler. So shout out Kohler, our hardest working guy in the biz, doing all of our graphics. The shirts are gorgeous. Got some Vincerix shirts, got some Masters shirts, and there will be more up there on Wednesday or Thursday. So definitely head to our website, links there, and support the boys. That's all we can ask for is your help. And if you like a shirt, support the team. So that's my quick spiel, and I'm ready to get on to I think we skip everything, go right to the Volvo China Open.
Yep. And the Corrales. Billy Ho.
And the Corrales. Is Carl playing, by the way?
That's what I was wondering, because if he is, I'll just single bullet Carl and try to go back to go double alt event wins with Carl. I wore the black Vincerix shirt to Coachella yesterday. Jersey.
Were you hot? Because it's a hefty shirt.
So on Friday, because it was the Friday round, I didn't watch the full day. Got to Coachella around 3:00. It was like 100 degrees. It was beating down sun. Saturday and Sunday, because it went a little bit later, waited for the golf to end. It was still hot, but it got there around like 5:36, so the sun was going down a little bit faster. But honestly, it wasn't. It was breathable. It was comfortable. It was nice. And I'm not saying that people, were turning heads, that they were looking at the shirt going, damn, that's a nice shirt. But they were, at the same time, people were excited about the shirt. So that was nice. Multiple people here, friends of mine, but more friends of my girlfriend, ladies even, Jers, saying that they think that the green Augusta shirt is cute. They were wondering if I could get them one. So we'll see.
We'll
see.
Sure
I told them where to go. Vincerix.com/store, I think is the. I should know that off the top of my head. But
well, even if you go on Vincerix.com, there's just a link right there. Hit merch.
Easy. But cool. We'll probably boots in what is it? Philly Creek the next time?
Philly Creek. That's that's the first week of May. So what, 2-3 weeks we got boots. So that's what we will advertise. So
Yeah.
we'll make promises when we have them.
Okay. Rory is number 10 in the dog rankings. And we've said this before. We've been fair, I think, to Rory in the dog rankings. I don't think he has deserved to be near the top of the list. I also don't think, he's a guy who is not in the dog rankings. Like Russell Henley, missed cut at Augusta, unserious golfer. But now he's won the Masters, and we need to move him into a different position. Brooks is number 1. A reminder to everybody, boots or dog rankings are when you play good and you're tied on the back 9, do you win? Brooks never plays good anymore. It's a little bit tough to judge his dog ranking, but we need to keep that in mind as we talk about these other players. Is if Brooks was there, how would you feel about him versus these other golfers? Scottie's number 2. Scottie, it was classic Scottie. He did not play good at all. I don't think I remember him doing anything good the entire time. Like every shot they hit, it looked like he was holding on for dear life. But he grinds out another top finish. He didn't quite get as mad. I thought he was going to lose his mind there on Saturday, especially on 10 when that shot went like bounding down the hill. He kept it a little calmer than he has. He even spoke about that afterwards. He said, I did the best job so far about like not losing my mind, because as we know, when it's not going right for Scottie, when he's not winning, and it had to be mind blowing for him. Like he's going to look back on this week and go, Rory made 4 double bogeys, basically was handing the tournament to somebody who wanted to come take it. And he wasn't able to. I think ultimately like he will be kicking himself a little bit. But as we've said, Scottie's rounding into form. Didn't get off to the normal start to the year. What's the Scottie state of the union? And if he was going up against Brooks down the stretch, would you move him ahead of Brooks in the dog rankings?
Scottie has so much dog. He did not hit the ball well. He's not been himself for the last since 2025. And shit, when he was on going into 17 and 18 and Rory was doing what he was saying, I was like, oh, Scottie's easily the live favorite here. I thought from the fairway on 17, like I was like, this is definitely going in. And then when he hit in the bunker, I'm like, this is definitely going in. And he hit a nice shot, but is what it is. I think Scottie, his dog is still there. He's clearly didn't have his game, and he played. What did he finish? T4? Not playing. He played like shit again. He played like shit in Houston. Played like shit again. Played way worse this week. I think he lost strokes off the tee. The fact that he lost strokes off the tee is crazy, but that shows the distance thing. Because Scottie's been losing in distance to the big guys more often than not, and that's a big showing there. Positional bomber is exactly what he is.
So let's put it this way, because the next guy is Xander. Nice performance from Xander. I don't think anybody expected Xander to win. Oh, actually, maybe some people did. I think you declared Xander wouldn't win. You hold on to your Xander crown as knowing more about Xander and majors than anyone knows anything about anything. He's 3rd. And then obviously Billy Ho is 4th. Some great tweets from Billy Ho this week. Not great golf, but great tweets from Billy Ho. Hideki 5, Bryson 6, Rom 7, Bobby Mack 8. When you talk about Bobby Mack, because he kind of fucked me. Nick Taylor 9th, and then Rory 10th. All those guys are tied going to the back 9 of the PGA Championship, but not at Quail Hollow. Let's just say it's at the most normal, evenly distributed golf course that exists. Who would you rank top 3 right now, and where would you put Rory?
I would say Scottie, Rory, Max
Homa. Who's back?
Dog.
Where did he finish? How did you?
I think T12.
T12. Losing off the tee, approach and putting. Okay. So Scottie, Rory, Max is your current dog top 3.
I'm thinking. Actually, I don't know if I'm joking about Max, because when he mixes, he plays really good.
He's still 47 in the dog rankings. Like we haven't removed him from the dog rankings through this poor stretch of play. We'll bump him up a little bit for sure. I think I will go Scottie. Scottie's taken over 1 in the dog rankings, mainly because I saw him make like 5 long par putts, and I was like, that's so much dog. He just refused to go.
He didn't have his game, so Scottie's 1.
This is going to be controversial. Actually, I don't know. I'm going to go Scottie, Brooks. I know what happened yesterday. I know people are going to be slamming their hand down, saying you're a hater. I need to keep Bryson ahead of Rory in the dog rankings, because Bryson plays.
You have to see what he did last week at Live Doral. That was really bad. I think we got to flip him. And
I
we
do.
factor in every tour.
My thing with Bryson is like he was not actually playing good, and his
Yeah.
ability, his ability to be the greatest, to be savvy around the greens and putting in
True.
majors, like that to me is he only does it through dog. Like he was getting up and down through the first, I don't know, 60 holes. We said on the pod last time, if he chips like he did at Pine, he will probably win easily. I didn't actually think he was going to do it again. His stats around the greens are not good. I think probably most of the time he doesn't care, but dog is when you care what shows up. I was honestly impressed with Bryson's dog, even though it didn't work out down the stretch. He was just hitting it too badly to like overcome. You can't be hooking your irons 40 yards and win the Masters.
No.
But what do we even do with his around the greens? Do we just assume that when he gets to a major, he's just going to figure it out and be the greatest around the greens player ever?
I mean, we know what he wants, so yeah. I think that's fair. And the fact that he did it at Pine and Augusta are like 1-2 of joke around the green courses. So yeah, I think that's fair. And like when he gets to easier around the greens, I think that's just gonna, even at Valhalla, that was the easiest around the green course in the world, and he did more of the same. So yeah, I'm down. But I still think Rory is ahead of him. I'll give my honest opinion there in terms of dog.
Honestly, I don't think any of them beat Nick Taylor going down the stretch.
When they're tied, no.
No chance. But okay, I think we're gonna go Scottie, Brooks, Xander.
Also, Nick Dunlap's dog ranking goes up.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
He played the Masters and he's no better than a 5 handicap right now. No better.
He shot under par in the second round.
Yes. Like every golfer you shot 90. Anyone else would have withdrawn. He came back and shot under par. He has so much dog. We feel bad because he's so bad at golf right now. Horrible at golf. But dog has nothing to do with how good you are at golf. Nick Dunlap, the day he finds it, look out.
He's 22. We'll move him up. We'll move him up to like 20. He's got to stay behind Carl. Carl has to be so happy. Was there any person on the earth who was more happy when Nick Dunn shot 90 than Carl Phillips?
I don't think there couldn't have been. I don't think so. No.
Okay, but Rory will go into the top 5. I think he's still got to be. Well, would you still have him behind Xander?
Yeah.
Because if Xander was playing good and they were tied on the back 9, I think Xander I still would have had more faith in.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And Xander was the first person to openly talk about dog. So yeah.
He's embraced it. He really has. Mm-hmm. He really has. Okay. But yeah, he's moving up. He's moving up for sure. You win the Players' Championship. Honestly, it was so similar to me to the Players' Championship. Like he had the Players' Championship in his hands too. And he should have won easily with like 5 holes to go. And then he didn't choke it, but he kind of left the door open for JJ to come back in time. So it's interesting that both of his wins at the Players and the Masters were like he had it. He was playing generationally. And then it went to a playoff, but then he stepped up and had stones in the playoff and figured it out. I think there is something too about like when he gets to the playoffs, he's kind of like, I fucked this up so hard. Like what's the worst thing that can happen now? You know, it's like, it's basically, I'm screwed. Actually, this is what I needed to say. We've given many takes on this podcast about Harry being an unserious caddy, that he is not there to provide insight on how to play the tournament. He is there for vibes. He is there to give knucks to Rory when something goes good. He's there to pat him on the back. I saw him do that a few times. Like when it was going bad for Rory, he just gave him the old, like you'd give your buddy after like a girl turns him down at the bar, just like it's all right, man. Like stay strong. Like I could totally understand nobody can talk shit about Harry anymore. Rory won the career Grand Slam. Like that was his life mission. Like he's done it. Harry was by his side. That's cool. I'm not going to say anything against that. I also think you just have to to give a fair like analysis of the situation, say what would have happened with a different caddy, someone who was keeping him more locked in. I think that's the flip side. Again, I will back off of some.
I could promise you he's not hitting that shot on 11 if it's a different caddy. I could promise you that. Any caddy. He's not hitting that shot on 11, the approach shot.
Yeah.
You can't let your player do that.
Yeah, and so I think like I'm not ready. I won't give as hard of takes because again, you win the career Grand Slam, you win the Masters, whoever caddied for you, you earned it. But I think if we're gonna win the Grand Slam this year, if Rory's gonna win the Grand Slam, I think his chances of winning the Grand Slam would be higher with a different caddy on the back. I'll just stick with that.
No, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair take.
Okay. Oh, the one other thing I wanted to talk about Rory and just golf in general. He declared that his life mission was to win the Masters, win an away Ryder Cup, and win a gold medal. The gold medal is going to be tough, obviously, because they only play it every once in a while. It will be at Riviera next time. I think that's a good course for Rory. Do the Americans have 12 players for the Ryder Cup tours? Do we have a team? I don't know if we have more than 3 good golfers right now. Besides Scottie, Xander, and Bryson, what American golfers, and P. Reed, obviously, Captain America, he should be on the team. Put P on the team.
This year is going to be a final push, final Ryder Cup, final I'm the Hall of Fame golfer, because this is he talked about needing to have a great week at Augusta because he's not in all the majors. Now he did that. He's going to be in some more now with the OWGR points. He's going to be playing in Saudi and some crazy countries the next few weeks to just get more points. But yeah, I think Patrick deserves it. Who else do we have? We have no one.
We literally
it's a tough scene.
We legitimately I think the Ryder Cup at Bethpage with Rory.
Collin will play well.
Oh, and Collin. We've got Collin. Pat will play well. Pat will just show up and play well. But we don't have a team of 12 players. I was looking at the standings earlier. Tom Hoagie's in there. We're Mav guys,
AJ
but
Spawn.
I don't need Mav, doing something important in the Ryder Cup. I would not feel good about that situation.
No.
The Euros are playing generationally. Random Euros of the week. Rose would have been Random Euro of the Week winner of the Masters. It would have been 2 in a row. Him and Nikolai winning back-to-back Masters. Random Euros. Nikolai's card, by the way, at Augusta on Thursday was something to behold. But I think it's going to be a great Ryder Cup because there's such a home course advantage. Obviously, such a home field advantage in the Ryder Cup. It's overpowering. But if we suck at golf and the Europeans are carrying the strength of Rory winning the Masters on their side, I'm concerned, Jers. I'm concerned.
What we need is a win from Davis Thompson because we need him on the team.
Yes.
Because the man made he finished T46, but the dude made so many birdies. He was 5th in the field in birdies at Augusta in his debut, which is
he'll win one.
He'll win. Yeah, he'll win.
Davey T will win the Masters. Who else? I'm scrolling through because we need to get to RBC, but we also just need to talk about a few guys who we were high on last week.
Nicky Nations?
Nicky Nations. No, I swear to God, dude, this is hilarious. Last night, Coachella, it's 10 o'clock. Just watch Zed on the side stage. Probably the best performance of Coachella was Zed. Just
rank your top 3 real quick. With Zed 1?
Zed, Green Day. I was surprised too.
Really?
I'm not. Green Day was somebody who was big when I was in junior high. Was probably when they were the biggest, and I was always I'd listen to them on radio, but I wasn't going to go out of my way to go to Green Day. And knowing they were headlining a day, I was kind of meh. I'm not the who cares. Sick, so good. At the end of the day, when you go to a live performance to see some the best, you just want to see what does they've been doing it for so long. Their performance was just they're getting the crowd involved, they're doing all sorts of stuff. So Green Day 2, I think that I don't have a 3 because those 2 don't even. The other thing that there was a lot of and I didn't know much about is K-pop, and this is going to be surprising, I think, to anybody who's listening. It's surprising to me. I was I learned so much about it. It's so massive, obviously. People love it. It's globally huge. This is dog. They're a big group. It's called Blackpink. They're the most famous K-pop group. They were discovered around the world in 2010. They go to a training camp in South Korea for 6 years, and then they whittle down this pool of people until they end up with these 4. That's dog.
And the cult followings that those bands or groups have is absurd. I'm a fan of this band called Baby Metal, which is a metal Korean or Japanese band, similar vibes. And I've seen them. It's an insane group of people. So I can only imagine how it was in a setting like Coachella. I'm happy you said Green Day. I hope you go on a little rock
Like,
kick going
well,
forward.
like, where's the we'll talk offline, but there was some like, yeah, more hardcore like rock bands.
There's a band called Speed. I'm not sure if you heard of them, but they're there. Don't
Do you know
listen to them, but
do you know the Prodigy?
yes.
I like that was one of them where because you're walking around, it's kind of like US Open vibes, honestly. When you're like walking
Yeah.
around, it's like it's a similar energy. And it's like when you see the sides, it was honestly I was thinking about, it's like the side stages are like when you're following like some random golfers at the US Open and some amateurs. You're like, these guys got
Yeah.
potential.
Like
It could be
Scott
sick.
Olsen and something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
exactly. And then you get to the main stage, and that's when the Rorys and the Brysons are up there. But yeah, so it was fun. Good times. I'd recommend anybody who's able to go. Like, the weather's beautiful, the setting. And I've also been to, I haven't been to a shit ton of festivals, but I've been to enough where like, what's a good setup and a bad. Like, it's just top notch, well done.
Yeah,
like
they know what they're doing.
Clean execution.
Is it
good
done
time.
now?
There's next week. They do 2 weeks, so everybody, it's going to be the same thing next week.
But it's only weekend, so there's no Monday.
Yep. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But where I was gonna say was Nicky Nations, the Nico story. I'm walking last night at like 10 o'clock after the Zed performance, and there's these two girls, and they're like, "Have you seen Nico?" Like, people I don't even know. They just walk up to me. They're like, I hear them in the distance say, "This guy probably knows where Nico is," and I see them coming to me, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what they're gonna say. Like, "Do you know where Nico is?" I didn't say it back, but I so instantly wanted to say, "You mean Nicky Nations?" And they would have been like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about?" But I thought that was hilarious that somebody literally came up to me at Coachella and said, "Where is Nico?" Because Nico won the par 3.
So the Master Champion, third to last group, fourth to last group. That's a win for 400-1 Nicky Nations. Print the shirts.
He's a better South American golfer than Joaco. That's what I was going to talk about.
Joaco beat him though. Nicky Nations did shoot 84 yesterday, by the way.
Okay, I didn't know that, but I was on Joaco. I don't regret it. I really don't.
42.
I like can't regret it. He's unserious. It's all mental with him. He has all the shots in the world. There was like highlights of him hitting unbelievable shots through the trees, doing crazy stuff. He just plays like the weight of the world is on his shoulders. Like, even he got off to a great start. He was like 3 under through 4. I was like, yep, this is what I'm talking about. Like, here we go. But you just look at him. He's either CY and he hates golf and he's just really, really good at it and he's forced to play, or the weight of the world is on his shoulders. Which do you think it is? And as somebody who wasn't on him, just watching from the sidelines, like, obviously it's more fuel for the Joaco can't do it in the majors. It wasn't like he played terrible. I don't know what he finished, like 29 or something.
T29.
Like, yeah, he never played good, but his talent is so through the roof. And if he's in the 40s and above at majors, like, it's going to be hard for me not to, because he will black out one day and win. I still stand by that.
Yeah, I think it's the latter. I think it's just he plays with just all the pressure. I don't think he's just playing golf because he's good at golf like CY, but I just think he has so much pressure and he feels like he needs to do it, and it's just another less than stellar performance in a major for Joaquin.
All right, I had to touch on Joaco because we obviously
I'm one up in the Ludwig Joaco debate for the year.
Who finished higher between Davey T and Mav?
Mav. Davey T finished T46. He won the birdie contest, but he finished T46. McNeely finished T32. One over. Okay. Mav played good. 72, 73, 71, 73. Consistent balls.
Davey choked it for me. He had it. He was like in the top 10 almost going into Sunday.
Yeah.
That's too bad. But yeah, you got me. You're one up on Ludwig. We'll talk about Ludwig because I think that was an interesting situation there as well. Okay, we're getting to RBC. I wrote up, the article will be up on the site soon.
We'll give you more RBC content too with when we record Fast Greens at some point. Hopefully we can do it. So get more in depth.
I will say no promises on Fast Greens, but we'll try our very best to get Fast Greens out there. Iron play, as much as any course like that exists, there's courses where like there's narratives. Like last week, everybody, second shot golf course Augusta. The stats don't necessarily back that up anymore. It's more distance. The stats back up that of all of the courses that exist on the tour, there's very few where just like pure striping your irons coming into the tournament is more important. And it's the putter doesn't matter as much. The off the tee doesn't matter as much. You got to still be able to gain tee to green. It's at the end of the day, to win on the PGA Tour, you can't be terrible at anything. Like, there's not many courses where you can be bad at something. But you can win losing strokes putting here. We saw Spieth lose a ton of strokes putting when here. Scottie didn't gain any last year. If you just stripe your irons and then are all right off the tee and around the greens, that's what I'm after. What's your target profile at the RBC?
Yeah, play out of the fairway and just be nuclear with your middle irons and wedges and short irons.
I will say that the shift here has been towards distance too. As the last couple of years when the field has gotten better and we've seen different styles
I had
of
that
play
take
here.
last year too.
Yeah, you did. That because before it was just the positional guys would come. So obviously the stats are going to skew more positional. Now that everybody's playing, I'd prefer a guy who's more distance than accuracy, honestly. This
P-Bomber.
P-Bomber.
There's a reason Scottie, this is another Scottie course.
And that leads perfectly into Scottie. I think they're the best number right now is plus 425 on Bet Online. He's going to have a vengeance. I really do think a Scottie hot streak is like in the future. He's putting it so much better this year. The swing isn't quite there yet, but it will get there. I'm not worried about that for Scottie. I know you're not going to bet him at plus 425, but would you be considering the without market? Do you think he's got a good chance for back-to-back? I know you're against back-to-back in general, but how do you feel about Scottie?
I think that he's got a good chance, but I think I'll go against it because as his number, I guess, drifts a little bit higher, we're going to get some decent betting numbers elsewhere. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go against it. Like, I'm going to go against him, I'm saying, because he's not all the way there. He's not hitting it prime Scottie, and it's hard to win back-to-back. He doesn't do it too often. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to go against him. Once that 7 comes into – every week we're getting a little closer to 7. We're getting a little closer to 7. So I'm just going to wait till then because the last time he was 7 – Bay Hill, and he won. Where is he? Right there. Got to post it.
So we're putting a notification on our phone, a countdown to when does Scottie get to 7. Like we have it on the countdown on our phones. Okay, I will admit that
it could be Quail.
I think Quail's going to be Bryson Rory 3. That's my.
Would I bet Scottie 7 there? I mean, we're going to boots it, so we'll have further. I mean, that's our Quail preview. Is Scottie 7? Yes or no?
Kessler came on the pod, and if you haven't listened to the Kessler pod, like it was great. And speaking of getting guests on the pod, we've got somebody special coming up, so people get excited about that. But he told us that they loved Quail and that they felt like they should have won the PGA at Quail. And if there's futures out there for P at Quail, I'd be interested in that.
He also did say he thinks Rory will win by 10. He did say that too.
He did say that. So maybe a top 5 bet on P or without market. I don't think there's without market futures, but if there was, that'd be something to look into. I will admit, I'm trying to read the odds board, Jers. It's a little hazy in my eyes right now. So I can't promise that I'm reading these numbers accurately, but I'll try my best because the next group of golfers kind of hanging around. Also, the sort functionality is not sorting these correctly, which is that's crazy. Okay. Collin. People always want to bet Collin here. He's 12-1. He never makes any putts or chips well here. But again, generational striper of the irons makes sense. What is Ludwig? He is 12.
Around the same, 12 to 13.
Yeah, and then Xander. I think Xander, Ludwig, and Collin are in that next tier. What is JT? Yeah, we'll save JT and out of that. So Collin, Lud, or Xander, who do you like the most, and are you considering betting any of them?
Collin, I can see myself doing a Collin and bombs. I just think the narrative of him being I think he was the most tipped last week, most popular golfer last week, and didn't really come close. He hit the ball tremendously. Again, he hit the ball tremendously. He had his best approach week at the Players since the Players of 2023. So he's really hitting. He's really getting into that. Like when Collin's clicking, he's parlaying these elite approach. So he's doing that right now. It's a golf course that makes sense for Collin. I don't think the number is anything crazy. I think it's fine.
Like at the end of the day, the take that Collin can't win tournaments when Scottie plays continues to be true, and that just makes it hard for me. Like at these numbers, but obviously he makes sense. Lud, we talked about him last week, and we said. And also to be fair, we had to pick somebody in the 10K range because we take stances on the site. We had to pick one player, fade one player. We both faded Ludwig just because statistically of the players up there, he is the weakest. But we also said on the pod, like there may just be courses where he just fits. And I think
Scottie and Rory did beat Ludwig, so
fair. Yeah, he kind of lost it there on 18 after Ian Baker Finch jinxed him on 17 by calling him the ice box or the ice.
Yeah. So weird.
Ian Baker, I wish Ian Baker Finch being the 17th hole guy sucks. The coverage, there's a lot of annoying things. The best part, though, so much Catalan, Jers. We were
So much Catalan. You were
we
saying
were
that.
drowning in Catalan. It was so good. That was the highlight of the coverage. But he should give me even more Catalan. I've been struggling to figure out where to bet Lud big, like who he is as a golfer, what it means, because I just don't think he's going to be the all green Xander type of golfer that like you go look at his stats and they make sense every week. I think it's really just if it's a golf course where you need to hit it to the fucking moon with all of your clubs to get soft landings, that's when you go to Lud big.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm worried about the approach play, truthfully, on a golf course that you need to have a lead approach play. I know he's played well in this area of the country. He's won in this area of the country. And it's a golf course that if he is striping with the distance, he's going to give himself such an approach advantage. But I do think that I'd rather go with Collin because Collin gets touted as the plotter, but Collin's sneaky long. Like he's plus distance. And if they're both plus distance, I trust Collin probably will hit more fairways. And I trust Collin with the irons far more right now.
And then Xander, like, I'm not going to bet him, but
he's not there yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he's right in the mix. I'm just still waiting to see on Xander. Okay, JT's next. I'll just hand it to you. You bet JT. JT never had any chance of winning the Masters. Like, it wasn't like my bets were much better, but you've gone to him now at both the Players and the Masters, big events. You went to not the top of the board, but he was kind of the guy you started your card with. State of the Union. Are you going to stick with him? Is he a serious golfer? Should he retire and just become a YouTube golfer? Like, where are we at?
Well, do you remember what we had our JT bit last week, and then we also posted it on Twitter on Thursday or something? Do you remember what I led off with me saying?
No, actually, I don't.
So I said we're gonna come on this pod on Monday to talk RBC, right, yes. And I said, are we gonna laugh at me starting my card with 25-1 JT? And we both said probably. We probably are. And here we are laughing at me taking JT as my top guy on the board. But it's just so unserious. It's so funny. And I posted a JT clip of him being the artist. It was so funny because he hit the most artisanal shot of the week, maybe. Put it to 3 feet, missed the putt. Like, it's so JT.
I have a new take that you can't trust Scottie when he plays with JT because it has to hurt Scottie's brain to watch JT golf. Scottie is the most he will hit exactly the most logical shot that you can possibly choose to hit every single time. And JT does the opposite. I think it breaks his brain. I tweeted the shot he hit on 10 on, first of all, there's so much to talk about. We'll probably have to do fast greens because there's so much to talk about, but
yeah,
Griner on the bag makes more sense because Griner is more of a straight and by the book kind of caddy. But on 10, he's taken both clubs out. I want to know the strokes gained in his career when he takes more than one club out of the bag because it can't be good.
That tweet that you posted was so hilarious because as soon as you said it, he was doing it, and then what happened.
So funny. Okay, Pat's 20-1. Pat's bet
20?
Pat. Yeah, you bet Pat at RBC Heritage. He finishes top 10, top 5, top 3 every single time. He was never going to win the Masters because he can't putt at Augusta.
Did you see what he did on hole 15? He played I saw a tweet from our Pat expert at D Flowers. Follow him if you want any Pat notifications. He was 7 under on the whole course and 5 over on hole 15, which is a par 5, obviously. And I don't know how that exactly panned out, but it was just something egregious with Pat.
That's hilarious. So at 20, I assume he's going to be mega popular if he stays at 20 and probably on the chart.
What he was last year.
You probably wouldn't be able to bet him, but would you consider it? I'd consider it.
I wrote up that Pat sub 20 is unserious, I think, just because he was 19 in a weaker field at Valero. And that was the reason I picked him at Valero, because I said he was going to be the same number in a much stronger field at Corrales, and that didn't work out. So I can't.
Corrales?
Not Corrales.
What would Cantlay be at Corrales? that is a fair question.
I meant Valero, but at Corrales he probably would be 25, if in terms of the seriousness.
Okay, this next tier in the 20s include 2 guys that we bet, both unserious golfers, but yours hung on there longer. Connors, Russ, and Shane. I'm done with Shane Jers. I'm good. he's so talented. You watch him play, and he's hitting these amazing iron shots, like flagging it, hitting it long and straight, chips it nice, putts it well. But like, I never thought he was going to win. Obviously, like there was so much going on, but he was legitimately mixing on Saturday. So unserious. But of these three, they're all unserious. Connors, Russ. I mean, Russ missing the cut in his current form and how he had played at Augusta like previously. A disgusting performance from Russ also. What do you think?
This is a beautiful bounce back week for Russ because this is the first major that Russ actually thought he had expectations. I truly believe that. Like Russ goes into the majors like he knows he's a plotter. He knows he can play well, hit some greens, but yeah, he won Bay Hill. He's had great Augusta results before. He's in Georgia. He's playing great golf. He's probably thinking, damn, I could really play well here. And then the expectations set in and the pressure sets in from the jump. And he misses the cut. So now he heads to a course that he plays every single year. Obviously a stronger field, but I think it's a fair number and a golf course that Russ is ready to bounce back at. Because he still gained 3 strokes on approach, I believe, in 2 rounds in his missed cut. So I think it was just pressure last week.
I think Connors will make a hole in one this week.
You can. I'm
not going to say it's a lock, but I'm going to say as much of a hole in one could be a lock. He was generationally striping at Augusta. Okay. 30s, Vic and Tommy. Any interest in them?
I think I would go with Vic because he's kind of finding some things. He's really starting to. He's speaking and he's honest. He's speaking that he's doing well things or things better. So well things. Yeah, he's doing well things, and I think it's just coming to fruition that Vic is finding things. So I think it's a fair number. Tommy, I don't get it. Why is he 30? What would you bet Tommy at?
I have a take about Tommy.
No form or course.
I think Tommy's son wins a tour event before Tommy does.
It's a good take. I think that's fair.
That's my Tommy take. Okay. We'll talk. I'm going to list off some guys in the 40 to 50 range here in a second, but one of them I need to talk about quickly. It's Bobby Mack. Bobby Mack was not committed to the par mentality. What happened?
Where did he end up? He missed the cut.
Cut is where he ended up, Jers. He ended up traveling early to Hilton Head.
Yeah, tough scene from Bobby Mack. How did he did not hit his irons well at all? He lost like 4 strokes on approach in 2 rounds.
3-putted from like a foot.
Tough scene. A few guys did that. Tough scene for Bobby Mack. I would go back though.
The 40s, are Day, Spieth, Bobby Mack, Sepp, and then backdoor Sung. Willie's life is amazing again. Shout out Sung. Any of those guys you like? Sepp
for sure. Sepp, super giga chalk at Augusta. Did everything to make the cut and then ejected on 17 and 18. Still gained 3.4 on approach in 2 rounds, which is what you want. Sepp is a great number.
Yeah, I'm down for 100% down for Sepp. I bet him here when he lost he almost made the playoff the year that.
Oh yeah. Was that last year?
A few years ago. I don't remember who won. Who won that year? That one Spieth won. Spieth won that year. I've had some bad beats at the RBC.
Yeah, I know you have.
And one of them is Spieth, and Spieth is 40. That's the number where I get interested in Spieth is when he reaches the 40s in these type of events at courses that he likes. I'm not saying I'm going to bet it, but it's interesting. But yeah, Sepp purely on if you just run the numbers, makes all the sense in the world this week. For sure. I've seen a lot of Berger love already. Jers in the 50s. Windy's there. Windy made the cut at Augusta, played fine, didn't play good, whatever. Rye, generational iron player, generational striper, and then Min Woo, not a links course.
Furthest thing from a links course.
So, of those guys, any interest? I've seen Berger love. I know you're a Berger guy.
I bet Berger last week at 170, and he played fine. He finished T21. He was floating around even par all week, but he was hitting the ball so good. Wasn't really making too many putts. But again, he's not doing anything poorly. He's doing everything good. He's green and around average everywhere. And this is definitely a really good Berger golf course, a golf course that he's played a few times in the past, has some okay results. So I'm down. I think it's a great number for Berger, but I'm also seeing the love too. I expect him to be popular.
I talked about it last pod. I'm so tired of Keegan. He lives inside of my brain, Jers. Again, I went to him last week. He played terrible. I probably won't bet him this week. He'll be bowing to his caddy. He'll be building a statue of his putter outside of the course. I don't know what to do with him anymore. He's in the 60s. So is Denny, JJ, Spawn, Mav, Rose. Those guys are all in the 60s. And then they're close enough to these guys in the 70s that I'll list them off too. JT, Poston, Mike Kim, Shea, Pendy, C. Wu, Ben On, Davey T, and our boy Bud Colley. Any interest in any of those names?
Shit, Davey T. I mean, he can P-bomb it. He can hit some fairways. And just like seeing how many birdies the man made last week, I wouldn't mind going back to him. Poston's going to be really popular. I would expect Rose to be popular, even though Rose has a negative chance here. Yeah, I would pick Davey T.
Yeah, Rose.
And I could see Shea being popular too, but Shea's first 2 rounds were a product of insane bunker play. He did not really hit it well at all.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm interested in Shea. I mean, this is a golf course that
makes sense
for him. I think I bet him last year here. He finished T18, played solidly enough. And yeah, that's the thing with Rose. I've been saying this has been my Rose take for a long time. When he cares, he can mix. When he doesn't care, he won't mix. I have a hard time believing that he's going to care this week. I think the other interesting thing quickly from the Masters that will be lost probably because Rory won is Rose has now lost in playoffs at the Masters to Sergio and Rory. That's tough.
Yeah, really tough scenes. So yeah, I don't know what to make of that for Rose. How do you go along knowing that? But he's playing good. He plays good in the courses that he cares about.
It's just that has to hurt so bad for Rosie.
So bad.
Losing to 2 of his Ryder Cup contemporaries, and then both of them have Sergio winning obviously his first major. Nobody thought he was ever going to win a major after it had been so long. Same with Rory. Maybe Rose is the good luck charm that these guys need in the final round. So keep tabs on that if Rose has ever paired with somebody in the final round who is trying to do something they've never done before. Mark that takedown. Okay. We're close enough now, and we're running out of time, unfortunately. Actually, Homa and Zalatoris, because Zal was I don't know where Zal's stats ended up. I know after the first round, his short game was a disgrace, and the stupid long putter was bad. They're both 90. Who Zal lost everywhere. Terrible performance.
Yeah, not good.
Who right now is more serious of a golfer between Max and Zal?
It's a great question. It really is a great question. I think, the Masters has a lot of weight. It really does. I think it's still Zal. Well, there's one good. Max hasn't made a cut since the Open Championship outside of last week. I will say, I tweeted on Tuesday, Max Homa's going to make this cut, and I got so much shit. People were like, what are you? An easy makeup.
That's a pick for sure. Yeah, no, I agree. Let's wait and see on Max. I think
I bet him years. I think the last 2 years, but I'm not going to do it this year.
Let's wait and see. I think he'll be mega popular. I think everybody's going to be like, he's back. Bet him. I'm going to pass on that one. We're in random Year of the Week territory. Jers. Wait, BSB's playing?
Yep, he is playing, and he's playing, but it's 9 p.m., so we're good. Unless we will talk to him, we can reschedule if we need to.
Yeah, I don't want to stress him out during the week. But yeah, if he's down to pod while he's playing in the tournament, I think we need to find out when his tee time is. Let's wait and see there. Last thing we want to do for our first player interview is have anybody stressed out. But I cannot wait. But we're down in triple digits. We're in the random Euro of the Week territory this week, Jersey. The random Euros have been playing great. Rose almost won last week. Our random Euro of the Week was Jaeger, who won through 6 holes, I think, last week. So that was great. Who's your random Euro of the Week?
My favorite random Euro of the Week is a guy who comes from the European Indian community. It's Sahith Theegala. I'm down for him this week. It is the perfect storm for Sahith. He had his best approach week since he's been squandering strokes on approach. He had his best approach week at Augusta since the RBC Heritage last year, in which he played really well out. So a little boost of confidence could be all he needs to go a golf course that he's played well on in the past, even though it doesn't really make sense as a Sahith course. See him clubbing down off the tee, hit that, just keep that orange shafted club every single hole off the tee, and then he could play well. But I think it's a great number on Sahith.
Sahith random Euro of the Week is the truest outside of the box random Euro of the Week selection ever. I think it's up there when you pick Tiger Woods at Torrey, but then Tiger didn't play in the tournament. So that
I did.
I think at Genesis, your random Euro of the Week was Tiger Woods.
I don't think that was the case.
I think we we had to take it out of the pod because he didn't end up playing, but you did say that. I'm pretty sure. I'm going to pick a real random Euro of the Week. Teagues, we need him on the Ryder Cup team because we're running I'm really worried about the Ryder Cup. It's a tough scene. If we were gonna choose random year of the weeks that are actually American, I might choose Bud Colley. I might choose our boy Bud as random year of the week because why not? He's our guy and he stripes his irons and he's keeps playing good. Fitz has kind of played all right at Augusta.
1 week. It was 1 week.
But it's vibes here, Jers. He only had one good week when he won last time.
Yeah, and people are saying that he's been to Hilton Head before. So I mean, yeah, sure.
If we're gonna stick in the random Euro of the week that aren't actually Euros, Billy Ho. That's my random Euro of the week.
He's one of the most European golfers on tour. What are you saying? He has a freaking West Ham bag.
That's a good point.
He is a West Ham bag.
Billy is infinitely more random Euro of the week than Teagues. Billy Ho will be my random Euro of the week, representing West Ham.
Wins Wentworth every single year.
That's fair. If you win on the DP, you can be random Euro of the week forever. Also, one of the K-pop groups, they were like a solo act from New Zealand. I turned to my girlfriend. I go, shout out Ryan Fox.
That's big time. They're a New Zealand K-pop group.
Yeah. Well, one member. They found them in the global search for people. But
you have to have one.
Any more random names down here? Long shots. Joey Buckets. I could see Joey striping it around here. I'm not going to give up on our guy Ryan Gerard. Why not? Bez is 200 to 1.
Tom Hoagie's also too long he's on the Ryder Cup team but he also, when we said that last time, he was not striping at all. Now he's striping.
What about Eck?
Echo course. This is an Echo course, but has he gained strokes off the tee once this year?
There was that one time. What event was that he played all right? Hold on. He's playing terrible. Never mind.
Yeah. Really tough.
Who else is down here? Chris Kirk. By the way, this is Bermuda guys, right? We're back to going down to Publix. We're going to the grocery stores. We're looking for Bermuda guys this week, right?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So Chris Kirk fixed that narrative. What's his number?
270.
That's absurd.
He won the Masters after like 3 holes too.
Yeah, he's playing well. So he missed a cut.
Who finishes higher at 400 to 1 and 750 to 1 between Brian Campbell and Paps?
Brian Campbell gained 4 strokes on approach on Sunday at Augusta. That's like when Kevin Kisner did that a few years ago. When Kevin Kisner birdied at like 11 on Saturday and Sunday, Brian Campbell was the only birdie on Sunday on 11. Yesterday.
Brian Campbell finished T32 in his Masters debut.
That is generational fairways.
He at 400 to 1 might be a generational wealth opportunity this week. Soups.
I think there's worse bets to be made. I do.
Anything else for the people from the Heritage? Like we said, we've got Corrales. I don't even know who's playing in Corrales. But it's not Carl. Carl's in playing the Heritage Jers, so he's not going to be there.
Okay. So yeah, Corrales. I actually want to say before we get off that I've fully committed to these alternate events going on vibes and not trying to be too cute with the numbers, which I've done in the past, and you've successfully done it. So I'm going to be going strictly on vibes. So head over to the site, head to Fast Greens if we record it to get some more information on the rest of it, including the Volvo China Open.
This is actually a sick Corrales odds board. Guess who's first?
I haven't. Henrik Norlander.
Keith Mitchell.
Dude.
The top of the board is Keith.
You need to listen to my Johnny Avello interview because you need to just listen to it.
Yeah, I will. Also, everybody get over there. Jers, talk to the man who sets the odds for DraftKings. That's good content.
Keith Mitchell.
Keith is 14, Alex Smalley 20, BG 20, Harry Hall 22, Seamus 28, Thor 28, Matty Walls 30, Rico 33, Chan 35, Ryan Fox 35, Chuck Hoff 35.
Dude, this is gonna be BG. BG can win by 40.
BG is my early lean, and then Aldi Potts is 50 to 1.
Oh, he's gonna nuke the place up.
Yeah, I'm excited for all events. At the end of the day, that's my one winner this year on the PGA Tour. I hit Billy at Corrales last year. I've started, as you said, I have a new approach to the alt events that I think has been working for me. It's a simple strategy. Is this person good at golf? Do they vibe? Don't look at the stats. Don't crunch the numbers. Don't worry about it too much. Same for the Volvo China Open. That'll be up on the site. We'll get
I
Vincent.
had tags last year, so good vibes.
So positional.
Well, different course.
Okay.
Different course. Get to the site.
Get to the site. Thank you, everybody. It was a great Masters. Shout out Rory. The national global nightmare is over. The green jacket is on Rory's shoulders. The Grand Slam is now. It's not a question of when he wins another major. It's when will he lose another major. We may never see it. Jack's record might be in jeopardy from somebody not named Nick Dunn. Jers, thank you very much, and I'll talk to you later.
Peace.